Wet roads out there, you want to make sure that you have your headlights on, too, if you got your wipers on. But we do have a couple of accidents to deal with. First of all, on southbound 43 at about North Avenue, we got the right shoulder blocked with a crash there. And then another crash on northbound 41 just before you get to Appleton Avenue. It's off on the right shoulder north of Silver Spring there. So watch out for that. We've got delays coming in from Appleton Avenue all the way down to Capitol Drive. And then westbound 94 backing up from just west of 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today morning, rain with the afternoon clearing, haze with a high of 64 at the lake, 71 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 51. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
It's a topic you think about, but the think is very short.
Yeah, do you mind?
Oh, Karen, I need to ask you something. Is your father Dale Anderson?
Do you know my father?
I mean, yeah, the second one would have been nice.
So what would you trade for it?
I mean, the mother has to eat. She can't give all the food to the kids, so she's got to keep a little for herself. That's why the 3 Super Bowl rings, or the 3 Pro Bowls are staying.
This analogy.
You know?
What are you guys doing?
I'm feeding him.
Yes, I see that. But why that way?
Karen, I thought I told you. My salivary glands don't function properly.
Because I got robins all over the property. Robins all over the property, and I watch birds all day long.
I was about to say, this is what you do filling your days?
This is research.
Mama's eating the first 3 worms.
Paul, you never told me about this.
Are you sure? I could have sworn I told you.
No, Paul, you didn't tell me. I think I would have remembered if you told me your father chews your food for you and spits it up into your mouth.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it, she running her mouth, she wants to ride it.
So I'm sitting in my kitchen last night listening to the Matt LaFleur press conference from yesterday. And wowee, was the weather wild last night. We had crazy winds, driving rain. I was like, whoa. And since I don't watch the news, this came as a surprise to me.
Should you be admitting that you don't watch the news out loud into a microphone?
Is that because my husband is on the news?
That's correct. Yes.
You don't
that
watch
would be
the
correct.
weather? I constantly watch the weather.
Yeah, that's because you are an old
junkie.
man. That's what old people do, Chew.
Is it really?
Oh, man. When I visited my grandparents in Arkansas, and when I was a kid, we would always go down to Arkansas. That's where they retired to, and, that was our spring break. We'd go down there. Weather Channel on constantly.
Huh.
To the point where I'm pretty sure after a half hour, I could have repeated whatever they were about to say.
Well, the reason I watch the news, Gabriel, is because we're getting to the season down here of high anxiety. Ooh. So I am down here to hurricane-proof the house because I want my friends who helps us out tremendously. I want him to do as little work if there's one headed this way. The problem is this. My wife doesn't know when to stay in a lane. She wants all lanes. Every lane. Right?
She's just swerving all over the road.
So at the house, I'm in charge of the property, inside and out, right? So she has a problem just creating work. I am not a create work guy.
No.
Does she want to create work because she thinks you're bored?
Yes.
She wants to give you something to do?
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yes. And she wants all the lanes. Even though she is not qualified to handle all the lanes. So we had 2 hurricanes here within 10 days last season, so people are a little jittery here, right? So the first hurricane, which was the worst hurricane in the Tampa area in 100 years, the water came 2 feet from the garage, right? The worst hurricane in 100 years. So she wants to elevate everything in the garage 3 feet. And I'm like, why?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I just want to understand what you're saying. You're saying that, like, you've got stuff on the floor of the garage and she wants to lift it up 3 feet. So put it on risers, essentially, in case you guys get water in the garage. Did you get water in the garage last year?
No. So the worst hurricane in 100 years didn't give us water in the garage. So I'm like, why? Well, we need cinder blocks. Do you have cinder blocks? I'm like, yeah, I got them in my right pocket right now. You need them?
That's how Chewy gets so big and strong. He's just walking around with cinder blocks. He can.
So that kind of
is that a cinder block in your pocket, or are you just happy to see
me? So that ended the conversation, and we compromised on Saturday. Okay, because she wants to put everything, up. I'm like, the trash bins are made of plastic. Water is not going to hurt them. They do not need to be 3 feet off of the ground. So it was a compromise, and
I want to hear how your compromises go. I know how the compromises in my house go.
I mouth off, so I don't let it go. So I'll be in the bedroom, and I'm like, oh, we should really raise the bed 3 feet, don't you think? So I don't stop until I win. Because it's not her lane, Jen. It's not her lane. It's my lane.
Just out of curiosity, how did the mouthing off and suggesting that you raised the bed 3 feet, how did that work out for you?
She went to verbalizing it the first couple of times to hand gestures after thereafter.
I think we got the point.
Yeah.
I can't put two and two together.
So it's just about hurricane proofed and angry. If he had to come over here, he's got maybe 15 minutes of stuff to move.
So what do you have to do? What do you have to do? Like, how long does it take you to hurricane proof your house? Because living in Wisconsin, this is not anything I've ever had to do.
So the obvious stuff needs to go inside. So my studio down here is full of outdoor furniture, TVs, cushions, chairs, and all of that stuff. The garage is, pressure washers, things, fire pits, things like that. But it's the little things. It's the little things you don't forget. Like, I have a clock on the tree.
Oh.
Which turns into a projectile.
Yeah.
If you have 120 mile an hour wind. So you have to look at the little things to be like, ooh, that's got to come in. Just like the outdoor kitchen area, all of the cabinets, the metal cabinets there have to be zip tied. You raise the boat all the way to the top of the lift and ratchet strap it to the lift. So there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's nothing overly physical, like when you had to move all the stones to do the landscaping. It's
correct.
But there's a lot of things on the list.
It's you got to just look at the little things. You know what I mean? Because if you forget the little things, like I said, those turn into projectiles and those go through windows.
So, Chew, I sent you this link this morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
Have you heard of the Fallen Tree Act in Florida?
No, but I thought we were talking about it in one of the breaks, where if someone else's tree falls onto my property, who according to that, who's responsible for it?
Well, so that's what the act is. It's a proposal that says that homeowners would have the right to remove a neighbor's tree if it was growing partially on their property without permission. And again, this is all weather-related, hurricane-related, because there is always a squabble over who is responsible for the removal of said tree when it falls down, weather-related. And if there's damage, who is supposed to handle that? Now, typically it's the homeowner, but the homeowner then gets their insurance rates go up and all of that stuff. So it leads to a lot of conflict. So I believe that this Fallen Tree Act is supposed to try to eliminate the conflict by making it black or white. The problem is they're saying that now, if this goes through, there are going to be people, and stay with me on this, Gabe. If there's a tree in your neighbor's yard that you think might fall on your house in a weather event, you could go over and cut it down.
Seriously? I wonder what the law is in Wisconsin.
This to me is wild. Now, when we had that big storm a few weeks ago when there were tornado warnings and all that, there were actually a couple of tornadoes that hit down in western Wisconsin. We had a tree from our wooded area fall back into our neighbor's yard. Boom. Our neighbor shows up on our doorstep, and he's like, hey, we got a tree fell from your property into our property. How do you want to handle it? We walk over there. The tree was dead. It was an ash tree, and we ended up splitting the cost to remove the tree. It didn't hit anything. It didn't hit their shed or any other structure, so it literally was just poof, into the ground. And then you know how it, like, shatters.
Yeah.
You got branches that are flying everywhere and whatnot. And that was pretty much as simple as it gets. But it's not always that way, Chew.
Speaking of trees, Jen, how's Paul Bunyan, your neighbor?
Oh, he is wild. Because now they're filling the yard, right? So now they've got the little caterpillar out there, and they're leveling and they're moving and they're all of that. And every time they throw the caterpillar into reverse, you know what we get? Burp, burp,
oh yeah,
burp, burp. Right. And then he goes forward again, then he goes backwards again, then he goes forwards again, then he goes backwards again, then he goes forwards again. You get the drift. Yeah, I mean, I think it was till like 9:30 this past weekend. We believe that the wedding must be coming up pretty quick, right?
We're approaching wedding season,
right,
sure.
Right, and his daughter's having her wedding this summer, and so we believe that we don't know the exact date of it, but given the amount of beep, beep, beeping that we have heard over the last few weekends, it's got to be right around the corner. It's fine. It's fine. We understand. Yeah. It's fine.
Come on, you want to start a war?
No.
Get the Polish music ready, the polka music, point the speakers to the back.
But I did. I was in the kitchen the other day. We had the doors open in the kitchen, and that goes out to the backyard. And this was when I didn't know about the caterpillar. And I was like, what the is that noise? And then we were playing outside with the kiddos, and I was like, I could hear them pretty loud and clear talking in their backyard. So I was like, oh, they definitely heard me in my kitchen, when I was like, but I mean, we were watching a movie the other night, and the caterpillar's got the big lights on it. Yeah. So you could see what you're doing. Yeah. And that was, whipping around the yard and all of a sudden in our windows, but then it turned real quick and be going the other way. So yeah, it's been an adventure. I'm fascinated by this fallen tree act. How would you guys handle a dispute like that, you and your neighbors, Gabe?
I mean, the tree starts on your yard and it falls on somebody else's property. Kind of feels like, to me, it's common sense. Like, you're responsible for the damage that tree creates.
Yeah. I wonder if insurance would cover it, though. I'm saying in Wisconsin.
That's interesting, because I'm thinking, because my friends in the house that I used to live in, like a little bit before I moved in, there was big winds that came through, and there was a tree in front of their house that fell on their house. It was right in front of their house. The roots weren't, it's right next to the street, so it wasn't great roots, and it fell on their house. I'm wondering what would have happened if that tree would have fallen a little more diagonally and would have clipped the neighbor's house. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would have been handled.
There's like tree law, and you can get for improperly in some states, or municipalities removing people's trees to the tunes of like hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines, because they take into effect the age of the tree, the type of tree, the difficulty in growing it. Like, it is a very...
Well, there's an environmental component for sure.
It is a very, very detailed, and like, you have to call in lawyers and arborists and experts, and you can lose hundreds, like you could lose your house if you damage somebody's tree that you shouldn't be touching.
So, Jamie, go ahead, Chew.
I know this on the lake, that you cannot cut a tree within, I think it's 50 yards from the lake, or you get fined, because I know this one house that cut down a bunch of them and got fined, I want to say $250,000.
Whoa, that's a lot of trees.
Yeah.
And the guy just ate it. He ate it, didn't even fight it. But I think that's more from an erosion standpoint, right?
Yeah, shoreline. Yeah, they worry about that for sure. I got folks weighing in on the Carbless Talking text line this morning. Jaime in Orlando says, in Florida, if it falls in your yard, you're responsible for it. Doesn't matter if the tree is in your neighbor's yard. Whatever falls in your yard is your responsibility. Yes, unless you can prove negligence on the part of the neighbor. For instance, if you had told them, hey, man, I think that tree in your yard is dead. Hey, I think if it falls, it looks like it might fall into my yard, and you can prove that they did nothing about it, that you had that conversation. Again, they say put it in writing, as they do with all things that could go to litigation. But proponents of the bill believe it's unfair for people to have to pay for property damages caused by their neighbor's tree. So that's what this proposal in Florida is. The Fallen Tree Act is trying to get ahead of some of these conflicts that affect neighbors. Let's see. Mark weighing in saying, it is an act of God unless you can prove the neighbor was negligent in not removing a dead tree that they knew was going to fall. Yes. So I find those sort of neighborly things fascinating. Like, because you want to, again, same thing with like the guy who was taking down all the trees in the house behind us. I wasn't thrilled about it, but it's his yard. He can do whatever he wants. And then you try to navigate the removal as delicately as possible so it doesn't turn into a whole thing, because we got to live by these people. You know, like I don't want to have conflict. I don't want to have, some people, Chewy, that it seems enjoy conflict, but not over here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a little bit. It's better when it's someone else.
I was about to say, no, he doesn't enjoy his conflict. He enjoys other people's conflicts.
Well, I told you guys I have a neighbor down here that likes to tell me what to do on my property. And then I mouthed off to him, and he doesn't talk to us anymore. So that's fine. You're
kind of mouthy. Are you getting more mouthy as you get older?
Well, Gabe, how would you like people telling you what to do on your property?
No, I mean...
And all I said was, did I sell my house to you? I didn't check the mail. I'm not sure if I sold my house to you.
That's good, Pop. That's good, Pop.
So,
I'm just saying, we started this segment with you mouthing off to your wife. We're ending the segment with you mouthing off to your neighbor.
Well, Gabe, I think that's an age thing, too. Don't old people have a tendency to mouth off?
Yeah, because you just don't care anymore, right?
When you start mouthing off to the Weather Channel, you need to let us know. That might be a sign things are going downhill.
Start cursing out Al Roker.
We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, all warmed up, all stretched out. Got a lot of stuff to get to today. Green Bay Packers spoke, Matt LaFleur chit-chatted, and then there is Shaq talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo and what he thinks how the markets affect that type of decision. All that and more coming up this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Still got a couple of accidents to deal with northbound on 41, just south of Appleton Avenue, off on the right shoulder, so watch out for that. And then southbound on 43, right about at North Avenue, that's off on the right shoulder. Delays coming in past that accident scene. The northbound side on 43 is tightening up right around the North Avenue curve up to Keefe. And then 41 southbound slow from Appleton all the way down past Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, morning rain, afternoon clearing and haze. A high of 64 at the lake, 71 inland tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 51. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation-approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems. Installation of new or old hoops and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Don't miss 3 weekends of live music at Milwaukee's Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance, including Devo, James Taylor, Chicago, plus Richard Marx, Rick Springfield, George Thorogood, and more. Get tickets now at Summerfest.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Where else can you get football analysis that includes things like dropsies and pixies and interceptsies and flowy? It's flowy. The offense needs to be more flowy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
On Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and we got to hear from an awful lot of Green Bay Packers players, coaches yesterday. Well, I guess just Matt LaFleur from a coach's standpoint. And there were some interesting revelations. I can't always say that. I can't always say that, wow, there were some revelations coming out of 1265. But actually there were yesterday. How many people were injured yet, Gabe, that we were unaware of last season?
Well, I mean, you had there was off-season surgery for Kenny Clark, apparently injured his foot in week 1 down in Sao Paulo. Lucas Van Ness was dealing with a thumb injury for the majority of the season. But I don't know. I guess I look at this like, okay, that's interesting, and maybe it does explain a little bit why Kenny Clark was down last year. But did he show up on an injury report? I don't recall him showing up with a foot or us talking about a foot. And we've talked about this with Jordan Love. Okay, you were injured last year, yes. But ultimately, you still went out there. And part of your learning curve is, okay, how do I navigate these injuries and still perform at a high level? Kenny Clark's a veteran. He's been here forever. Yeah, injuries aren't, you can use the injury. It's not an excuse. It's just the fact of the matter. But if you're not showing up on an injury report and you're still going out there and playing, like, the standard is the standard. You have to play up to a certain level. That's just the way the NFL works. And I'm glad he got it cleaned up. It makes me hopeful that he can play better in 2025. But I guess I have a harder time giving him a pass and being like, oh, well, he was injured, when there was no mention of it whatsoever last year.
Chew, he says that it was the turf. I kind of danced around it a little bit if you listen to the sound, but basically the turf in that game in Sao Paulo against the Eagles, which brings up a whole nother conversation about, like, what level of responsibility does the NFL have to ensure that when those guys are going overseas and playing in these international games, that the playing surface is high level, is comparable to what they would be playing any other game in any other arena in the United States.
They do.
It's a low bar to clear.
They do.
Have you
but
seen
they
Soldier Field?
Don't. Yeah, I know. They talk about player safety, but they really don't care. They care about the dollars. Although they did cancel. Didn't they cancel a game in Mexico City because the surface was just so bad? Mm-hmm. And then let's not forget the Hall of Fame game because the paint was a little too hard on the center of the field. So, yes, they do care. But when it comes to these injuries, it's just another excuse making. It's just, I know I played eons ago, but guys didn't make these excuses at the end of the year. And I remember when I went in for a knee scope, played the whole year, and it was bothering me. how it worked with surgery, because Pat would have just a packer day of surgery, and it went by seniority. So I was number 7 on the list to have my surgery that year. It's just a part of the game. No one ever used it as an excuse. You know, and I've told you guys a million times, like, you start out first day of training camp, you should be at 100%. Right? You should be if you trained hard in the offseason. And then it just gets whittled away. And if you can always have bumps and bruises, but if you don't have any major injury, a dislocated shoulder, torn cartilage, or anything like that, you're still winding up at the end of the season at about, I don't know, high 80s based upon the start of training camp. That's just the way it is. And it's a part of the game. Everyone has to deal with it. But stop using these. If it was so bad, and the training staff in Green Bay is the farthest from negligent. If it was so bad, you would have been on an injury report.
But doesn't this fall under what you usually say, Chew, which is that everybody has to learn how to play hurt?
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that's like, you know, this sort of explains, I don't want to consider it an excuse, because I didn't really get the impression that he was leaning on it as an excuse, but it does sort of explain why his numbers were what they were last season, and it also makes me more optimistic that he can have a bounce-back year. That if he isn't dealing with a foot injury sustained week 1 of the season, that maybe we will see more production from Kenny Clark. And, by the way, I would hope that he can, just given the contract situation that he's in.
But he's on the back end.
He was listed on the injury report with a toe injury at several points last season.
Okay.
So I don't know how much. I don't know what part of his foot he had surgery on. It doesn't seem like it was the toe. It seems like this was something maybe even a little different.
The one thing you can make a case for optimism, he's a long enough veteran that the drop-off last year was totally concerning, where I started debating, is he done? Like, did the Packers make a totally bad decision re-signing him when they did? Because we didn't, frankly, expect it. He joined Wilde and Tausch, and he knew at that point, but they were kind of hinting at, like, hey, this might be your last hurrah here in Green Bay. I don't expect him to lead the team in sacks or be, like, the biggest difference maker, but the level that he cratered at was out of character for him. So any sort of explanation I take as somewhat of a good sign.
But why wouldn't they not offer up this explanation last year the way seemingly they went out of their way for Jordan?
Because one of them they're coddling and the other they're not.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
How old is he?
Way to cut right to the chase there, Joshy. I mean, but you're probably right about that. And again, we can have that conversation. We have had that conversation about the way that it appears as though they are handling Jordan with a little bit of kid glove still. We have been on this program saying you don't need to do that. In fact, we think that you might be doing more harm than good by doing that. But I just found it interesting that there was this revelation yesterday, and I am in the camp of, oh, good. That explains why Kenny Clark wasn't Kenny Clark last season. And I do think that you will see not necessarily vast improvement because, you know, father time, but an improvement on his 1 sack, 4 tackles for loss, 5 quarterback hits, and just 35 total pressures, all lows or new lows since his rookie season in 2026. We got to get a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We have Adam Schefter coming up next. Stick around, Adam Schefter, right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound 43 dealing with an accident right about at North Avenue. Watch for the delays past that scene. We've also got backups from just before Good Hope Road all the way down to about Hampton. Northbound is slowing down from about Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. Southbound on 41, we've got backups from Appleton Avenue down to Capitol Drive. But the northbound side, we've got a crash just north of Silver Spring off on the right shoulder. Also slowing down a bit from about Swan Boulevard all the way up past Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series, Wednesday Night Live. The Cheap Shots take the stage tonight. Gates open at 6. Live music starts at 7. Wednesday Night Live from the Bud Pavilion at State Fair Park. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, morning rain, afternoon clearing and haze. A high of 64 at the lake, 71 inland tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 51. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been shaping the future for businesses for 167 years and for the last 15 right here in Milwaukee. We offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making, and extensive experience to help you navigate the ever-changing business landscape with your business in mind. At Fifth Third, we're big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, yet empowered to make local decisions and build strong community connections. Experience the commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Got an unused car, truck, or SUV just sitting in your garage? Now's the time to act. Your vehicle donation to Rawhide Youth Services provides essential mental health care for youths facing trauma and behavioral challenges. Your help is needed right away. Your vehicle could be the key to a young person's fresh start. Don't wait. Donate today at rawhide.org or call 1-800-RAWHIDE. Empty your garage. Fill a young life with hope.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Thank you so much. The Island Resort and Casino's Stay and Play golf packages for 2025 are filling up fast. Take advantage of early season package rates through May 23rd. A favorite among golfers, Island's Drift Spa. Enjoy therapeutic or targeted massage, float therapy for deep relaxation, or new red light therapy to enhance muscle recovery. Book your Island Resort and Casino Stay and Play golf package today. Complete details online at islandresortgolf.com.
Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
Adam's on the phone. Adam, you have more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move.
And he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
It's always hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. It just is. I wouldn't be surprised if they meet again, and I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay is in that game and Green Bay has a chance to win that game.
Adam Schefter on JGC is sponsored by Island Resort and Casino. Gaming, casual, and fine dining. 2 golf courses, a luxury spa, and live entertainment. Your total experience is at the Island.
Great to have Adam Schefter joining us this morning here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Adam, did I see that you were at a big birthday party for a big colleague of ours?
Yeah, they had a 70th birthday celebration for Chris Berman. 70 years old, 50 years at ESPN. At least it said that on the cake. I don't know if that was actually accurate or not, but 70 years old, 50 years. And it was very cool. They had a video, an 8-minute video of people sending in videos, saluting him. And he obviously is the soul of ESPN and has done so much to build that place and really is the most legendary figure who has ever worked there. It was a very cool thing. It was an honor to be invited. And it was in Boston, so I flew into Boston yesterday afternoon. We went to this bar last night. Chewy, I'm standing there. I'm about to leave. I'm driving back to Bristol, where I'm at now, to do TV Today with Field Yates. And this big guy comes over. He goes, Adam, Max Lane. Did you play against Max Lane, Chewy?
Oh, the lineman for the Patriots?
Yeah,
we beat
tackle,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, we beat him in the Super Bowl 31.
Yeah, he played in that. Yeah, because he retired.
He's the one that got worked by Reggie. He's the one that got worked by Reggie, those sacks in the end, yeah. Thank you.
And he was telling me that he retired. He retired in the year 2000, right before their run. So he missed out on all the Super Bowl rings.
Yeah. Adam, have you heard a number that the Packers offered Jair? Because I think that the number was so low that he did not take the offer right away, and I'm kind of surprised that if the number's low, no one else is willing to pay him that number, if that makes sense.
You know, I think they want him. They want him to take a low offer, and I think he doesn't want to budge on that. And so the Packers, I think, are going to have a choice. Either they're going to have to pay him what's on his contract, or they have to release him or trade him. Like, I don't think he's going to give in and take what they're offering. That's not going to happen. That's not going to be an option here.
Is that his best move, Adam? And
well,
then
you know what? Here's the deal. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Somebody would grab him, and they'll pay him a contract. And if not, then he'll choose the best situation elsewhere for 1 year and become a free agent after the season. A free agent, start of the year. Like, and if he plays well, he'll pick a good situation. Like, I don't know. Let's just say Baltimore. I'm using that as an example. Like, Baltimore lost some defensive backs and free agent. What if you went into Baltimore, shined in that defense, and then became a free agent? Right? You're going to do well in the free agent market.
Adam, the news broke earlier this week. Pro Bowl center Frank Ragnow decided to retire. Obviously, that's big for the Packers because, well, he was the center of the best team in their division. How much of a heads up did the Lions have on this? Did they have a suspicion that this could happen? Because it's kind of late to be announcing that retirement with minicamp starting.
I think they definitely knew it could happen. And I think if you look at their draft and the guy they took in the second round, Tate Rutledge from Georgia, they already have him penciled in at center. So I think that they had an idea that this was going to happen. And I also think that Frank gave it as much time as he could in the hopes that he would feel better physically, that whatever's ailing him would come around, and it just never did. And so much so that in early June, he decided to announce his retirement and make it official. And I think, you know, obviously he felt like that was the best course of action. You hate to see that. And, you know, that team is so strong and they've been so good. And for him to walk away right now, you know that he must not have been right, which he basically admitted in his statement.
Adam Schefter hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Adam, what is the confidence level for the Minnesota Vikings with J.J. McCarthy? There was a list that was put out, I think it was on NFL.com, where they were talking about the most complete teams, and they had the Vikings listed at number 6. Packers, for reference, were at number 8. Now, do we recognize that they have a ton of skill position players? Yes. Do we recognize that they are going to be a good team? But I can't wrap my brain around having a rookie QB under center and being considered a top 6 team in the league from a complete standpoint when they are weighing those positions. So the quarterback obviously is weighed more heavily. What is your understanding of the confidence level they are feeling with him right now?
Well, I think they believe in him, but they also have no choice but to believe in him because they've cast their lot with him. They basically tried to re-sign Sam Darnold, or at least spoke to him. Didn't happen. They tried to keep Daniel Jones. Didn't happen. And now you're left with JJ, who, again, they believed in enough to use a first-round draft pick. What was he, the 8th overall pick or whatever it was last year? Didn't play at all. Wasn't around a lot his rookie year. Got hurt and kind of was gone. So JJ's he's a great kid, and he has a chance to be a really good quarterback. But do we know what he's going to do in the NFL? I don't know. I believe in the guy. I like the guy, but I still haven't seen him play in the game. I'm not going to be surprised if and when he comes on and plays very well. Not going to be surprised, but we haven't seen it yet to know.
Adam, to expand on that, I've seen rumblings that they could possibly trade to get Cousins back. Have you heard anything along those lines?
Well, I think that would have been an option prior to them trading for Sam Howell, but they traded for Sam Howell, so I don't think you're trading for Sam Howell and then Kirk Cousins as well, unless you go to camp and you go through the summer, and this would be a nightmare scenario where you're looking at what you're seeing in one of those two quarterbacks, either JJ and Sam, and you're not seeing what you thought you were going to see, and all of a sudden you're like, we got to do something here. Like, short of that, that's the way they would trade for Kirk Cousins now. Once they traded for Sam Howell, I think that knocked Kirk Cousins out of the equation there.
What are you keeping your eye on over the next couple of weeks with OTAs and then mandatory mini camps going on and really the offseason program starting to wrap up?
Well, the way that I like to think of this is think of yourself at the end of the school year. You couldn't wait to take that last test and get the hell out of school and run out that door and start your summer break. And that's how these teams are thinking right now, and that's how the players are thinking.
I thought that's what you were thinking, that you were starting to have a little senioritis, that maybe you had a little vacation planned here.
No. I have no vacation planned.
No vacation ever for Adam Schefter.
No. We run an assisted living facility for doggy daycare. Like, that's what we do. We take care of our 4 dogs. Two of them are in failing health. We can't go anywhere. I mean, it's unbelievable. But the one thing that I think hangs over everybody right now, and I know there'll be no interest in the Milwaukee market about this, is what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. Like, here we are, June 4th. The Steelers' mandatory minicamp is June 10th to the 12th, and they'll probably cancel that last day, I'm sure, as most teams do. So you got 10th and 11th next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Still no word. They still don't know what he's doing. Like, okay, at what point are we saying this is interesting? This is an issue. At what point are we saying, you know what, we need to lob a call into Atlanta to see if Kirk Cousins is available, and we can't wait on this guy? Like, do you do that at some point, or do you just keep waiting and the hope that he's going to come around when he hasn't come around yet, and it's June 4th?
Adam, what was your opinion on the entire conversation surrounding Jordan Love comping the end of his first season as the starter to his performance last season? I know our colleague Dan Orlovsky jumped in and said something about anyone who thinks that Jordan Love has regressed is not judging quarterback play correctly. I know that there is a lot of optimism about what Jordan can do. We have seen signs of brilliance from him. How do you compare that 8-game stretch where he was so good at the end of the 2023-2024 season and then dealing with the injuries, dealing with the drops, dealing with some of those things, and the production he showed last year?
Well, I don't think that anybody could say that last season went exactly the way that the Packers would hope. Now, you could say that he played well at times, didn't play well at times, but you can't argue with the fact that the talent is there, the play and production at times has been there, but there also have been significant mistakes that have prevented him and them from realizing their full potential. Like, I think that's just a fact. So that's part of his natural progression and his growth over time, to where you hope coming back this year that he's eliminating those mistakes and he's making more great plays, and the great plays far outnumber those plays that held them back last year, and that the team can improve over what it did in 2024.
All right, I'll yield my time to Gabe. Go ahead, get it in, Gabe. Golf question.
Have you
US
used Scotty
Opens
Scheffler yet in your one and done? And are you going to? If you haven't, and I'm assuming you're just going to use him for the U.S. Open next week.
Gabe, I'm glad you asked that question.
Excellent.
Last week was the start of our second half pool.
Ooh, okay.
First half, thanks to your guidance, did not go the way that we would have intended or wanted.
Never going to live that down.
No, apparently not.
For the opening week, last week, I picked Scotty Scheffler.
That's just smart. That was just smart.
And so we are now in the second half pool. We are tied for first, and we got 4 million points last week, and I am very happy. So now we are mulling our picks for the Canadian Open this week. I think I have the guy I want, and we'll I know, as Jen will be very curious about that. We'll report back to you next week with who we pick and how that golfer fares. Right, Jen?
Well, here's a follow-up for you. I know it's been a while since Dylan was in diapers, but did you see the video of his wife, Meredith, handing Scotty the baby, and the baby had the poop running up the back of the onesie? Did you catch that video at the end after he won?
Well, to combine all that, we're talking about running an assisted living facility for dogs. I didn't think I would be going here, but we have, if you'll allow me, we have 4 dogs. We lost one of our beloved dogs in January, Benny, and may he rest in peace. And I miss him and still hurt over that. But we have 2 dogs. One who's almost 19, Ella, who she's always been she's been in my office for everything. But over the last couple of years, she's lost her vision. She's lost her hearing. She's kind of senile, and we love her, and we're taking care of her. And like she can't hear, like she's crying at night. But Tuesday night into Wednesday, she's laying, between my wife and I, and she's kind of squealing. She gets up at 3 a.m. She steps right in my eye socket. She gets up, and then all of a sudden, she has the issue that affected Scotty Scheffler's son, as I'm holding her. So at 3 a.m, she is pooping. She's pooping all over my arm, my legs. Okay, and I get woken up. I have to go take her out. Where she's in diapers too, by the way, but it's going through the diapers. Okay, and it's going all over me. So I let her out. I give her nothing you want to do more at 2:33 in the morning than give your dog a bath and then have to get in the shower yourself at 3:15 after you finish up because she went all over you. Jen?
Days just basically started.
Jen?
Days
All I'm
started
going to tell you is...
Yeah, you did start
All I'm going to tell you is Scotty Scheffler got off easy, okay? And he had $4 million in his pocket, okay? He got off easy, and he had $4 million in his pocket. I did not have any money in my pocket, and I was covered in poop.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
You know what, Adam? I love that you come on our show and you tell these stories that really humanize you to our listeners, right? Our loyal listeners think of Adam Schefter. He's this big-time insider, breaking news on the NFL. Meanwhile, you're over here doing doggy daycare. I love that you called it an assisted living center for our elderly dogs. We appreciate you,
Well,
sir.
we got Ella, and then we got Bailey, who's almost 16, and she's lost the use of her back legs due to arthritis. So you have to pick her up and hold her up to go to the bathroom. And a lot of times she can't stay. She falls back in. So Bailey gets 2-3 baths a day. She winds up peeing on my legs all the time. It's great joy running the doggy daycare facility in the Schefter household these days.
Adam Schefter, visiting angel.
You'd have no idea, right? And by the way, and that's why when I can hit on my golf pick in my winter, it gives me something to just sit back and take away some of the pain and misery that I'm going through on a regular basis, enduring running our assisted living doggy daycare facility.
Adam, I got nowhere to go after this, so we're going to let you go. Have a great one, sir. We'll talk to you again next week.
We'll talk next Wednesday. Thanks, everybody.
My goodness.
Got to go check in on those dogs.
Well, apparently.
Can't keep them for too long, right?
See, there you go. I blame Holmgren again. I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head. Every time I pass a dog. Oh.
Our conversations each and every week with Adam Schefter, brought to you by the Island Resort and Casino. It's a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com and book your total experience today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball as 2 of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jackson Churio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at Brewers.com.
I'm Monica Kessler.
Monica makes sure that everything at Kessler's is worthy of a lifetime warranty.
The quality of your ring is incredibly important when it comes to diamond setting, ring sizing, and repairs.
Monica has been part of Kessler's since she was 6 years old.
Let me tell you how to judge the quality of the jewelry you're buying.
It's easier than you think.
All you have to do is read the warranty.
Most stores offer a 5-year warranty, but Kessler's offers a lifetime warranty, the strongest in the world.
We can do it because we put more gold in your jewelry.
When a jeweler wants to make a bigger profit, they put less gold into the jewelry. This makes it thinner and easier to break.
Theirs might look like ours at first glance, but Kessler's jewelry is made not to break, and that takes more gold.
We give you a lifetime warranty because our jewelry is made to last forever, just like your love.
Gold is more than $2,000 an ounce.
Kessler's gives you more gold, a lot more gold.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next-day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
The Protect the Package golf outing takes place on August 16 at Ironwood Golf Course. Come be a part of the most unique outing in the state while helping loved ones battle cancer. Proceeds benefit the This Time Tomorrow Foundation. Sign up your foursome at thistimetomorrow.org under the Events tab.
Make plans to stop by Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, the perfect spot to meet up with friends in the Third Ward. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I mean, pumpkin seeds.
No, little suckers. They might be. What did you say before, Jen?
Sesame but those
seeds.
are white, like
Yeah. No,
white.
these aren't white. No, this isn't on the outside. This is on the inside.
Seeds on the inside.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you got some sort of like
scrotum.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Have you been to Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee recently? Coming up on June 27th, they are showcasing why they have endless ways to win with the highly anticipated season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty roll into drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is yours to grab. Be there to win your share June 27th only at Potawatomi. There is more information available online. You must be 21 years old to play. There was a lot of chit-chat about Zach Tom yesterday with the Green Bay Packers. So I want to hear from Matt LaFleur talking about what the plan is for Zach Tom as we continue to try to figure out how this offensive line will be structured in 2025. Take a listen.
Yeah, I think that's a plan, absolutely. That's where he's kind of found his home, but I think what's great about him is if you do have something that happens, it just gives you some flexibility up front, and we're always looking for guys like that, and I think our guys do a really good job, not only from a scouting department, finding players that have that versatility, but also I think our coaches do a pretty good job of cross-training those guys so that they can go in there and play. And I think as a whole, I think Zach's in a lot better space physically than he was a year ago. I mean, it's tough when you're rehabbing to get stronger and faster and in better shape. It's another thing to be out there and you're practicing and doing all the drill work, and you can really focus in the weight room at making those gains. So I think as a whole, though, I think our football team is in a much better spot than we were a year ago as well.
Chewy, any clarity on the Zach Tom situation for you? He's obviously talking about right tackle there when he says that's a plan.
Yeah, he's trying to walk back what Stenavich said, or trying to soften it. Not working. I would have. Why didn't someone follow up and say, "Well, Stenavich said there's going to be competition at right tackle"? Answer that. Answer that. Or is it you just don't want to pay him? Because that's fine. Just tell the guy you don't want to pay him, and he'll move on. But it's just a guy who's been as solid as Zach Tom at right tackle. And I don't care about last year. He didn't use excuses. He was still good, still better than anything they had. I just don't think you treat a player like that with saying he's going to compete after what he's done for you.
Well, and again, like signing him now is going to be cheaper than waiting to sign him.
I don't think they want to sign him, Gabe.
Okay, then that's fine.
I think that's their way of saying, hey, just tell them. What they say in Moneyball? They're professionals. Hey, we got to let you go. Barbara in my office will make the details. Best of luck. And then you move on. I just thought it was disrespectful to say that.
Yeah. So Zach Tom could do what a lot of players do and choose to, while they're trying to get these contract details sorted out, stay away. But he has chosen to be there. And we want to listen to Matt LaFleur, who it sounds like really appreciates that approach.
I think that tells you how much it means to him. And, you always want everybody here this time of the year, and understanding that it is voluntary. And but, yeah, that means a lot. I know for me, it means a lot to me.
What I'm interested in here is, it clearly seems like Matt LaFleur is softening the blow that happened about the competing for it, and is making no bones about it that Zach Tom is in search of a new contract. Zach Tom said as much himself. So are the Packers, was that cheap negotiating tactics by Stenavich on part of the organization to try and get him for cheaper? Like, I don't understand why you would change your messaging now.
I wonder if there's a disconnect.
Yeah, they're not on the same page.
Or that that front office,
Matt LaFleur sending a message.
His Gutekunst, his team on a different page than Matt LaFleur and his team.
Yeah, that was the only other explanation I had, was he's saying and looking around going, hey, he's doing the right stuff, get him his damn money.
Because it doesn't jive with the way they're treating Jordan Love. Well, he didn't regress. Well, yeah, he did. Well, he was hurt. Yeah, I know. But so was Zach Tom. They just don't want to pay him, and that's fine. They don't want to pay him Penny Sewell money. That is okay. That's fine. He's a big boy. Just tell him that.
I mean, someone's going to give this dude $20 million a year.
Around there. Absolutely.
Someone's going to do that.
But this seems like the typical Packer you want on your team. Am I right?
Well, yeah, because he's going through the contract stuff. First of all, played through the injury, didn't use it as an excuse, right? And just said, "Nope, I just need to play better." Didn't use it as an excuse last year. Now, when he's in line to make potentially $20 million a year, which is huge since he's a fourth-round draft pick, not like he's making big-time bucks, for his position anyway, he's still showing up to minicamps. Like something could happen to him at the minicamp, at the OTAs, and poof, that contract disappears. But he's like, nope, I want to be here. I think it's important to be here, so I'm going to show up.
What are they going to do if Walker beats out Morgan? What are they going to do?
Play Walker at right guard and say, this is what we want?
No, but they're not going to pay him, right? I mean, they've given the guy every single shot to get beaten out, and it hasn't happened. I hope he wins the left tackle job. I love stories like that.
Yeah, and then somebody else is going to pay him, and then they'll start Belton or Morgan next year at left tackle.
Yeah,
because you can't sign all of these guys.
No, you can't sign all of them.
Is that what's contributing to their hesitancy to give him Penei Sewell money? What number, Chew, would you be okay with if you were the Green Bay Packers? Again, recognizing that it does appear that they have a cheapness about them at certain positions, but Penei Sewell is making $28 million a year.
28?
Yes.
Ooh, they ain't paying them.
No.
Well, right, but could they go 22? Could they go 24?
I mean, if you're Zach Tom, you say it's 25. Look at the All-Pro voting. Mm-hmm. There's two guys in the NFL better than me. I don't have to be paid as much as Penny, but you have to pay me a lot.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I'm Zach Tom's agent, I'm not right now. I'm talking before the season starts. 25. But, I assume, because I think he's a really good player, he's going to go out and potentially be a Pro Bowl player, and he might make more than Penei Sewell.
So Penei Sewell's making $28 million. Lane Johnson is the second highest paid.
Hold on. Time out. When did he become Penei? When did he become Penei instead of Penny?
It's always.
are you Leroy and Leroy and me here?
This is what's
going
happening.
on?
Yes, this is what's happening.
Gabe,
I wouldn't get too hung up on it. Johnson is making $25 million.
Yes. So Johnson is making $25 million, and then it drops down.
Juwan Taylor at 20.
Juwan Taylor at 20. Ryan Ramczyk is 19.2. So those are the top.
I thought
four.
he retired. Ramczyk retire?
He did. Yes, didn't he?
Yeah, but
Former
that's
Wisconsin guy.
I would say if I'm Zach Tom's agent, I'm saying 4 years, $25 million average, half of that or a little more than half of it guaranteed.
Yeah.
They just don't want to do it, I don't think.
And waiting any longer, if I don't know if you know about this, about NFL contracts, they keep going up.
Yeah.
There isn't anybody getting paid less unless maybe you're a running back, which those are even going up
even
too.
those went up.
Yeah.
Even those went up. Any contract. Again, this is the lesson that should have been taken out of the Devontae Adams situation in Green Bay. So you had you've dealt with this directly, or you learned the lesson from what's going on in Cincinnati right now. It is only going to cost you
what
more
I'm
if you
sniffing
wait.
here? I'm sniffing a little high round arrogance. That's what I'm sniffing. They don't want to pay low rounders. Have they paid low rounders?
David Bakhtiari.
Yeah, that's fair. What was he, a fourth?
Yeah. That's what Zach Tom is.
But here's the
Also
thing, guys.
fourth-round
If
pick.
you are a draft and develop team, theoretically, you are hoping to hit on some of those late round draft picks. Obviously, a lot of late round draft picks. And if you hit on them, follow me here, and they do well, and they become one of the best at their position, a la Zach Tom, you got to pay them, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the goal? Isn't that the hope? Isn't that you struck gold? You found a diamond in the rough. Somebody in the fourth round becomes your starter at this position. Isn't that like Packers 001?
Zach Tom is the embodiment of what you want to do with young players.
Yes.
You get them at a discounted rate in the draft. They play out of their mind, become all pro eligible, and then you pay them. That's how you do this.
You know what the weird thing is to me? I think it's the number, because the number makes them look short.
Oh my!
For some reason. No, I'm telling you.
Okay, so let me get this straight.
No, you got it straight.
I want to make sure that I lay this out. So this is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're saying that there's a potential that the Green Bay Packers don't want to give an extension to Zach Tom because of the number he wears, and that makes him look short, and you don't want to pay a short offensive lineman.
You just nailed it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page there.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that scene from Billy Madison?
Yep. Well, hold on here. Let's see if I can find it. I got to go back.
Oh, Tashi, were we on the exact same page there?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Is that me?
May as well
Nope,
be.
just a random button I decided to press.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on after this.
We have a new crash now. It is on eastbound 94 at Highway F in Waukesha County. The two right lanes are blocked right now. Emergency crews are out on the scene, and everybody's squeaking by in one lane right now. So backup's already stretching back to Highway 16. Beyond that, more delays from 92nd Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. Westbound is backing up from about 20th Street all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. Got a crash on Highway 175 southbound right about at the ramp from Wisconsin Avenue. That one has the left lane blocked. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner, dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Today, morning rain, then afternoon clearing. It'll be hazy from the fires in Canada. A high of 64 at the lake, 71 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 51. Weather is brought to you by Avondale Roofing. Raise the roof and your standards with Avondale Roofing, your trusted partner for over 30 years. Remember, they get on top so you don't have to. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Save big on your next project right now at Menards. From mold and mildew to stains and hard-to-stick surfaces, preparing your paint project has never been easier than with Bullseye 123. Zinsser Bullseye 123 Primer is an all-purpose, high-performance, water-based primer for interior and exterior residential, commercial, and industrial applications. Save big on Bullseye 123 Primer. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
The Island Resort and Casino's stay and play golf packages for 2025 are filling up fast. Take advantage of early season package rates through May 23rd. A favorite among golfers, Island's Drift Spa. Enjoy therapeutic or targeted massage, float therapy for deep relaxation, or new red light therapy to enhance muscle recovery. Book your Island Resort and Casino stay and play golf package today. Complete details online at islandresortgolf.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
If you go to the expo before the marathon, they got a ton of gear. They got t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and all of the things that say the name of the marathon or the name of the city and all of the things. You got unlimited designs.
Oh, no. Oh, I can't. I got that marathon runner coming in tonight.
What marathon runner?
You know, this guy, Jean-Paul. I met him when I was working at Pendant, editing a book on running.
But there is just one official marathon jacket. Every marathon puts one out. They change it year to year. And if you run the marathon, it's a nice little display of accomplishment.
Oh, wait, Jean-Paul. Isn't he the guy who overslept at the Olympics 4 years ago, missed the marathon?
The number of people I saw walking around the 27th mile wearing the official marathon jacket, who very clearly did not run the marathon, was irking me, man.
Yeah, that's him.
He's from Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Yeah, he's Trinidadian and Tobagan.
How do you oversleep at the Olympics?
I know.
I mean, it's like the biggest event of your life. You'd think you'd have like 6 alarm clocks, paying off little kids in the village to come banging on your door.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it, she running her mouth.
The NBA Finals will get underway shortly. Did you see the news that the Pacers had a tough time landing in OKC because of, again, weather? Well, this is like the third time we've talked about weather on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. But while all of this goes on and while the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers get set for the NBA Finals, which start on Thursday, the Giannis situation is still hanging over the NBA, and we're calling this the nonsense portion of the program because, well, a lot of this stuff is nonsense related to Giannis's decision whether or not to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks. Shaquille O'Neal, and you probably have seen a lot of the stories with TNT and Inside the NBA and how they're moving to ESPN. So those guys have been all making the rounds. I believe Shaq is actually on the Kelsey Brothers podcast today. I think that episode dropped today. But Shaq was giving some advice to Giannis Antetokounmpo on things you should consider, things you don't need to consider when making a decision about where you want to spend this next portion, this next chapter of your career. Take a listen.
I would tell him they're probably throwing in his face bigger market. Doesn't matter. Social media is the market now. You know, Giannis has made a name for himself on social media. Like, you go to L.A., that's 50% of your contract goes to Texas. More pressure and more stress. Being that he's in control of that ship, he should go upstairs and be like, I want to see all the free agents. I want all the phone numbers. I want to talk to him. He should bring people to him. You know, when I was coming up, it was small market. You're too small. You probably need to go to a big market. I took advantage of that. But now every market is the same. Nobody cares what city you're in anymore. This ain't the 90s.
Chew, do you generally agree with Shaquille O'Neal's suggestion?
Yes and no. Because even back in my day, players would pick like a Tampa Bay because there's no income tax here. So you're getting 6% more of your contract, which is when you're signing a multi-million-dollar deal. That's kind of a big number. So guys did look at that. And then with big market, I mean, there are more endorsement opportunities, I believe.
Like what?
But I don't.
Like what shoe? Like he's got a signature Nike shoe. Like that's the pinnacle of NBA endorsement deals.
Like car dealerships in New York or LA, you know, things like local endorsement deals, not national.
But I mean, they make so much more money. Like
that's what I'm saying. I don't think Giannis cares about that because he already makes a boatload of money.
You're making $58 million. I don't think you need go wherever. I know a bunch of the dealerships here give away the free cars to the guys here. I mean, that's all you really need to do.
Brett had a pretty sweetheart deal with Bergstrom up in the Appleton area. Yeah. But I mean, 6%. It's a pretty big number, Gabe. You know, I'm just saying. In my day, guys are like, "Holy cow, you get 6% more of your check," and they take that into consideration. Well, should I go to, like, whoever played the San Francisco 49ers or Tampa Bay? And a lot of guys would choose Tampa Bay because the tax base in California is so high, and you get to save that there. So I'm just saying.
I just think when you think about the faces of the NBA right now, guys. How many of them are in small markets? A lot of them.
Majority.
You talk about the MVP. You talk about Nikola Jokic. Obviously, Anthony Edwards, who's in Minnesota. Like, these are some of the faces of the league right now. And I'm not mentioning Giannis, but of course we include him in that mix as well. Shaq is absolutely right that it doesn't matter where you are. You can be a superstar anywhere. So when you're talking about the pros and cons list, Gabe, and people sit there and go, these are the reasons why Giannis Antetokounmpo will be even bigger if he goes to a bigger market, this sort of takes the wind out of those sails.
Yeah, and no, it does. And honestly, I would even push back on Shaq saying, well, this isn't the 90s. Like, dude, you decided to go to L.A. I don't know who got in your ear. Everybody loved. I grew up in Horicon, Wisconsin. You couldn't be any further away from the Orlando Magic.
Correct.
Loved the Magic. Had a Magic hoodie, had a Penny Hardaway jersey, loved Shaquille O'Neal as a kid. Like, everybody loved the Orlando Magic in the mid-90s before social media because of Shaq. Like, if you're a big enough star, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if the 90s, doesn't matter if it's now. I mean, yeah, you take a look around the league, and, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're good enough, and if the NBA is indeed kind of putting hey, we're this league of stars, the stars are the most important thing. Like, Giannis has finished, top 5 in MVP voting, like, each of the last 7 years. He's been unanimous first team each of the last 7 years. He's one of the top jersey sellers each and every year. A lot of that's international because of the Greece influence. But, yeah, you can be a star wherever. I mean, think about LeBron. He was in Cleveland, right? You don't need to be New York, L.A., Dallas anymore.
No, I just think if he can win a championship in Charlotte, then he'll go to Charlotte, right? I think to him it's just, where does it give me the best opportunity to put rings on my finger?
And I know we keep going back to this, Chew, but I still can't help but think that, like, for a guy like Giannis who values loyalty so much, and I know that this might be the time where, that is not the defining factor. That is not the deciding factor. But Milwaukee is and has embraced him so much, and he has grown up here. And I know we have talked about this element of it. I think it's very difficult to cash that in. I think I'll talk about my own personal experiences, right, guys? I was in Chicago covering the Bears, the Bulls, the White Sox, high school stuff there. I grew up in Northern Illinois, as many of you remind me on the talk and text line all the time. But when I had the opportunity to go to ESPN, bigger market, more money, more exposure, all of the things, I really wrestled with it. Because when I was growing up, man, all I wanted to do was talk sports and be a sportscaster for the hometown teams, the ones that I had grown up loving. I think it's kind of like that for Giannis, right? As a kid from Greece, he dreamed of playing in the NBA. Milwaukee gave him that opportunity. Now, I'm not saying he won't go, but I guarantee that there are these thoughts of there's a safety here, there's a familiarity here, there is a comfort here. And I think that that all plays a role in when you're faced with something like this, it has a very strong pull.
And as Chewy said, well, and also, again, going to a bigger market doesn't mean more money. As Shaq pointed out, yeah, maybe you need to have bigger endorsement deals to make up for the lost income because of taxes if you go to Los Angeles and the cost of living in L.A. Like, I have no idea what Giannis's house looks like here, but I guarantee you, whatever it is, goes a lot. The dollar goes a lot farther here than it does L.A. in terms of purchase power and the size of home that you want.
No, I think there will be a time that he does leave. I just don't think now is it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's certainly possible, Chew. And maybe he decides, he's going to let his contract expire in 2 years and become a free agent and go wherever the hell he wants to go. Because he looks at it now of, well, somebody right now has to trade for me, and that means they're giving up a lot. But if I wait to be a free agent, then I can go and that team doesn't have to give up anything other than salary cap space for me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the news about Tom Thibodeau being fired?
Shocked.
Yes.
I was shocked as well. How do you lead the team to the Eastern Conference Finals?
You haven't been there in 25 years.
And again, it was a build. It was a slow burn, but they got there, right? And how do you have the peak of success for this team for decades, and then go, you know what?
Well, especially because there was, after the game, somebody had asked Jalen Brunson about Tom Thibodeau, and his response was basically like running the question back to the reporter. Like, you're asking me about Tom? No, he's the coach. Like, we love, we absolutely love him. Like, clearly the players had his back, and then they decided to fire him anyway. Like, that's how you lose players. That's how you piss people off, and that's not what you want to do. Like, now Jalen Brunson's going, that was my guy, and we just fired him? What the bleep are we doing?
It feels like a Jerry Jones thing, doesn't it?
Like a James Dolan?
Yes, because he's a moron. But, I mean, with Jerry Jones, when he got rid of Jimmy Johnson because he wanted the spotlight more on him than Jimmy Johnson, I don't know. I agree. It's stupid. But, I wanted to ask you guys this. If for some reason Giannis does leave and Doc says, I don't want to do that, would Thibodeau come here or no?
I mean, I doubt it. I don't know if at this point – I mean, Tibbs has been around for a long time. Like, he's been coaching for a long time. I don't know how badly he wants to coach and if he'd want to be a part of a rebuild, which, if Giannis gets traded, that's what Milwaukee is.
I'm good on Tibbs. I'm good on that experience.
You're out on it, you're saying.
No?
We've seen him. He wears out his welcome. Is Tibbs being mistreated everywhere he goes, or is he part of the issue?
So, but this was the shocking part to me, because usually it's the players who don't, because they don't like playing all the minutes that he plays them during the regular season, and like the players kind of run him out. That wasn't the case in New York. Like, the players seemingly had his back and loved playing.
Do we have all that information right now, though? Because I heard them talking about on Sportsman, like, it didn't sound. You can interpret posts now how Jalen Brunson talked about him as going either way. We took it as a positive because it seemed like they loved him. But what's next, and who possibly could they be maneuvering for?
I mean, but who's out there?
Jalen's dad.
Isn't the proof in the pudding though? Isn't it as simple as this guy led this team to unprecedented? And I know the '90s. Don't start me with the Knicks of the '90s. I get it, but like recently, they haven't had this level of success. Isn't it? Is it to Oxum's razor to say he was a reason for the success, and by pushing him out the door, you are unlikely to duplicate that success? To me, this is the simplest explanation for their success was Tibbs was a big part of it. It blows my mind. And yes, do I think he is tough to deal with? I do. I covered him in Chicago, and I remember when he was unceremoniously fired from the Bulls as well, and the ownership did not handle that well. I have carried that grudge since that day. But I also think that you get what you get with Tibbs, which is he's a basketball. I'm not sure that there's much else going on in Tibbs' life than basketball. He's an NBA coach. His brain is kind of like the beautiful mind type of thing, and his thing is we're gonna run, and that's what they did.
I mean, this would be like Chew if they decided to fire Holmgren after 95. Like, you guys are in the NFC Championship game, you go down there, you lose to Dallas, and Ron Wolf and Bob Harlan just go, well, I mean, we just can't beat Dallas. We got to go in a different direction. We just can't beat Dallas. We keep losing to Dallas. We got to do something different. Like, what? Like, you were just in the NFC Championship game for the first time in 25 years. Like, what are we doing here?
Who do you think canned him? Dolan or the GM?
That is being debated.
I just always assume, and again, I don't follow the Knicks that closely. I just always assume anytime something surprising happens with that team, and it's in the negative, it's James Dolan.
Surprising? You put surprising in quotes?
Hey,
it's like...
he's got a band. Maybe he'll write a song like Taylor Swift.
JD in the straight shot.
Me and the Tibbs just couldn't figure it out. It started to rain, and I moved to Spain.
You are on one this morning, sir.
I'm pretty sure JD and the Straight Shot have played Summerfest.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they have.
You got to be able to look that up. There's got to be some Summerfest like dossier or Summerfest list, right? We'll take a break here on Jen.
We'll dive into that. We'll see if we can figure that out.
Before we go completely off the rails, Chewy's over here singing Swift-esque songs written by James Dolan.
I don't know if we're recovering at this point.
Ship has sailed.
Find out what all the screaming is about. Buy two, get one free on Screamin' Sicilian at your local Piggly Wiggly stores. All Screamin' Sicilian pizzas are buy two, get one free from now through June 10th. So think about that. Think about just Screamin' Sicilian alone within the Palermo's brand. Screamin' Sicilian, so you've got the original, great stone-fired crust, great toppings, a lot of different options. But then you've got the thin and crispy. You've got the tavern style. And then one of the favorites really quickly developing into our favorite for me and Joshy, you've got the Detroit style.
Heck yeah.
I mean,
it's the best.
Buy two, get one free, Joshy. You need to get to Piggly Wiggly. Stock up now. Buy two, get one free. All Screamin' Sicilian pizzas. It's a great time to stock up on your freezers and find out what all that screaming is about.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are slowing down out there for sure, and we got a bunch of different accidents. First of all, on 94 eastbound at Highway F in Waukesha, we've got the two right lanes, actually just the right lane block now, as most of the emergency crews have left, but we've got a bunch of squads out there. So try and be careful heading through there. That Highway F off-ramp is also not really, it's kind of closed off with the squads there. We've also got the crash on northbound 94 just past the Mitchell interchange. The right lane blocked there. We've also got one on 175 southbound at the ramp from Wisconsin Avenue, left lane blocked there. And on the ramp from 794 westbound to 4394 southbound, right lane blocked in the Marquette interchange as well. So please take it easy. Things are still kind of slick out there. Traffic is brought to you by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series, Wednesday Night Live. The Cheap Shots take the stage tonight. Gates open at 6. Live music starts at 7. Wednesday Night Live from the Bud Pavilion at State Fair Park. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, morning rain, then afternoon clearing and haze. A high of 64 at the lake, 71 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 51. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The big gig is back, starting June 19th. 9 days, hundreds of musical acts. Summerfest in Milwaukee is the event of the summer. Plus, tune into 94.5 ESPN all 3 weekends for Summerfest Saturday. Enter for your chance to win tickets to the ESPN Wisconsin app or visit summerfest.com. We'll see you out there.
It's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. For me and my family, finding the perfect home is a journey, but we don't walk it alone. With the We Sell Group, Rob and Nick aren't just real estate agents, they're part of our family's team. They bring us options, perspective, and peace of mind. While they navigate the market, I can stay focused on all that life has in store. Because at the We Sell Group, it's not just about the home, it's about the people and the path it takes to get there. The We Sell Group, more than agents, part of your journey. Get started with Rob and Nick at wesell.kw.com.
Don't scroll past summer. Experience it live at Summerfest. See your favorite artists, grab your go-to fast food, and make memories you'll talk about all year. Because it's more than just a music festival. It's your summer highlight reel. Don't miss Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance, June 19th through 21st, June 26th through 28th, and July 3rd through 5th. The stories you tell this summer, they start at Summerfest. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Walton. Right now, UWD is running their home improvement season sale. Payments as low as $99 a month or no payments and no interest for an entire year. Call 414-410-2000 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm saying if we collectively, all the people in their cars, all the people listening on the YouTube stream, all the people listening this morning, if we all do it together, there's power in prayer, friends.
Yes, there is. Bless me, Father, for I played man.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Just let me cry a little bit longer. I ain't gonna smile if I don't want to. Hey, man, we all
Finding the right home should be a journey, sometimes quick, sometimes patient, but it should always be exciting. The We Sell Group at Keller Williams understands that. They're not just about closing deals, they're about building relationships and helping you find the perfect fit. My family, well, we've been looking for a lake house, and my goodness, have Rob and Nick given us a lot of options. And when we can't get out to a house, guys, they go themselves, take pictures, send them over to me so I can take a look at them. It is so clear that their passion is people. Whether you're ready to move in right now or you're just starting your journey and looking, it is awesome to work with the We Sell Group every step of the way. Start your journey today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
turning it into a joke. Half empty girl, don't make me laugh. Just let me cry.
Joshy, where did this list come from? This new quarterback wide receiver duo list. Where did it come from?
CBS Sports.
Okay, I just didn't have it in front of me, so I wasn't sure. So,
Yeah,
so you're saying they're reputable, huh?
Yeah, it was just something I ran into here. I was a little confused by the rankings, going to be honest.
Where did the Green Bay Packers fall on this list?
8th.
Yeah, so it is either the quarterback or the wide receiver has to be new to the team is the premise of the list. They rank the top 15 new quarterback wide receivers duos, and Matthew Golden, Jordan Love came in at number 8.
For comparison's sake, I think we need to know the duos who are above them on this list. Chewy, you got any idea who number 1 might be? It's familiar faces, I'll tell you that. Best new quarterback wide receiver duo in the NFL, according to CBS Sports.
Is it a veteran?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a veteran and a veteran, and one of those veterans used to be a Green Bay Packer.
Devanti?
That's correct.
Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, number 1.
That actually feels fair. Yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got two established future Hall of Famers. Yes.
Yep.
After that, go ahead.
Debo's got to be on there?
Oh, let me see. Debo.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, number 3. Jaden Daniels, Debo Samuel, number 3. Do you have any guess at number 2? Another trade that we saw happen this offseason.
Probably Cowboys.
Yep. Dak Prescott, George Pickens. You got most of the details.
No, he didn't. He had some of the details.
You're right.
Most was strong.
Most was generous. Number 4 is Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba in Seattle. Number 5 is J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson, which, again, we have seen greatness from Justin Jefferson. I am still reserving judgment on J.J. McCarthy.
I think everybody is.
I just don't think that you can be that good. Again, I think that Jaden Daniels, and I know that some people point to C.J. Stroud, I think those were the exceptions to the rule. I don't know that he is going to come in and have that level of success in his first year in Minnesota.
But what if he's good as Bo Nix?
Yeah, then that's still a good team.
With
Good example.
those offensive weapons.
But I don't know if he's going to repeat the year that Sam Darnold had. And when Sam Darnold wasn't operating at the highest of levels, the Vikings fell off pretty quick.
Fair.
You know, because you take a look at the last 2 games of the regular season and then obviously their postseason game.
So the reason that a lot of these guys are obviously ahead of Jordan Love and Matthew Golden is they are established individuals, right? Like Stafford is an established individual, Devontae, Jackson, Smith and Jigba, Debo. You have a body of work at least for all of those people. Is Matthew Golden the first rookie on this list, guys? Yeah, he is because number 7 is Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors. And Lamar Jackson and DeAndre Hopkins are ahead of them. So, yes, wow. Josh,
yeah,
what was
JJ, I guess JJ's kind of a rookie.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play last year.
The preseason snaps.
Who was the first rookie receiver taken in the draft?
Well, that would be Ted, right?
McMillan.
And where'd he go?
Carolina.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
That answers
now I get the game.
Oh, okay.
You know, what about the Ohio State kid? Because Baker's a pretty darn good quarterback.
Yeah.
Remember we liked him?
Emeka Ibuka, yeah.
Ibuka, yeah.
I mean, he's 3rd on the depth chart there, so it's kind of hard to predict how much he'll even play in 2025.
Yeah, but what do you think Golden's going to be? Golden's not going to start the season at 1. I would highly doubt it.
Who's going to hold off the competition better, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, or Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed?
And Dontavian Wicks. Because Reed almost exclusively plays the slot.
You guys, there are only 2 rookies in the top 10 of this list. It is Matthew Golden and Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Wow. I mean, look, after reading it that way, because obviously there's movement, there's trades, quarterbacks move, wide receivers move. That is high praise. That is a lot of optimism for Jordan Love and Matthew Golden. I'm kind of excited about this. The rest of them, I mean, even after that, Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields. Again, body of work.
Yeah.
Drake May, Stephon Diggs. Oh, Diggs. Sounds like they're standing by him, guys. Sounds like they are standing by Stephon Diggs.
I think I really have an option at this point.
Oh, boy. That to me is a powder keg.
Oh, really?
Literally.
A pink powder keg, maybe?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
Well, we gave Kraft a pass with Massage Envy. So,
so number 11 on
We're
the
not
list.
talking about Tucker either, gang. Just want to put that out there, make sure that is clear.
Took me a second. I got it.
Cam Ward, Calvin Ridley, number 12 on the list.
Gabe is red in the face. Gabe is embarrassed.
Gabe, it's fine. Okay, Penne. Can I have some Penne Sewell? No,
That's
it's
his
not.
name.
It's Penny.
No, it's not.
Definitely not Penny.
Spell Sewell's first name.
Penny.
Nope.
Oh, that would explain it.
Explains our disconnect here.
Joshy, what was your issue with the list?
I was just surprised to see a guy who some people are talking about regression, or a guy who needs to play better, up there with Matthew Golden, who we really have no idea what to expect thus far. Like, Matthew Golden was somewhat of a highly touted guy. He definitely rose later in the process, but 23rd overall pick. Bill Barnwell talked about the logjam. I just imagined there would be more newer duos that were more exciting, but as you read the list, it kind of does taper off. But like,
how excited are you for Tyler Shuck and Chris Olave?
Not that much.
Okay.
Drake May, Stephon Diggs, though, doesn't that feel like that's almost certainly better?
I mean, assuming Diggs plays.
Well,
yeah, but they're gonna slow play Golden. They're gonna slow play him, which is fine. He's gonna have a package for him. He's not gonna. I'd be shocked if he. Dobbs will start at Z. And my guess is.
Can you really be that shocked though, Chew, when you take a look at the way rookie wide receivers regularly contribute and have pretty big seasons?
So who's he going to beat out, Gabe?
I mean, if he has all these physical tools that the other receivers just don't have.
Better question, who's going to hold him off?
Yeah.
And again, I know, Chewy, you're anti-gush, so I want to preface what I'm about to say with that.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the reports out of training camp yesterday, or is it training camp? It's mini
This is
camp.
OTAs.
Thank you. OTAs he's the real deal. Again, anti-gush. Again, it's just OTAs. But
they're in shorts and helmets.
They love the way they love his route running. They have loved his hands. Again,
now
anti-gush.
Listen to this headline. After last season ended with 2 concussions, Romeo Dobbs looks like a specimen this spring. Here we go.
That was the word, in fairness, Chew.
That
specimen is
Matt LaFleur
a
used.
direct quote from Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, don't worry about
Is he just trying to avoid best shape of his life moniker?
Trying to come up with different words.
Yeah.
Oh, we're synonyming?
Oh.
Because best shape of your life is
kiss of death.
Kiss of death.
It's usually like the biggest lie ever.
Yep.
It's usually for a guy, and I know the Packers don't have a lot of these guys, but it's usually a 31, 32-year-old, oh, man, this guy really dedicated himself. He's the best shape of his life.
Yep.
I'm sure he's in fine shape, but you're in the best shape of your life in the 20s.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
It's the ultimate. I had a disappointing season last season, so now I'm taking football seriously this time around, apparently.
Yeah, best shape of your life is...
That's why I love Mike McCarthy. I loved him. Hey, Mike, what's Eddie Lacy? Oh, he's fat.
He did regret that.
He's fat. See, that's not anti-gush. No, is it anti-gush?
That's
anti-gush. Sorry, okay.
Do you think that Jordan Love and Matthew Golden will be better than the 8th quarterback wide receiver duo? Do you think they will be lower than the 8th quarterback wide receiver duo? And I'm talking about in the league, guys. Because, again, I know that this list is new duos, but, there's obviously a lot of them. We rattled off a boatload of quarterbacks. Jordan Love, a lot of this to me is based on the potential of Jordan Love. It's based on what we saw flash with Jordan Love.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine they're top 10. Hard to imagine. As good as the wide receivers are in this league, and as good as the quarterbacks are in this league, I can't imagine that those two this upcoming season are going to be top 8. Because, I mean, again, Dak Prescott's on this list already with George Pickens. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, already pretty damn good. Jaden Daniels and Jaden Daniels is above them on this list, but Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry McLaurin, already pretty damn good. Doesn't have Baker Mayfield, Godwin, or Evans. Pick your poison. Already both pretty good. There's no Nico Collins and C.J. Stroud. No Patrick Mahomes and Rashee Rice. There's to be top 8 in terms of wide receiver and quarterback duos. You've got to be pretty. One of you, if not both of you, have to be close to all-pro level. You got to be really good to be in that top 10 of quarterback wide receiver duos. And that's not to say they can't get there a couple years from now, but in year one, Matthew Golden would have to be pretty special in order for that to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think they can be good. I think that Golden can come in and be that number 1 wide receiver. Because, it's just with Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, are they really going to be able to hold off somebody that got that speed and smoothness?
Golden, I would say, this year, 47 receptions, 642 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I'll take the over on all 3.
Okay. It's a bet.
All right. Well, okay, what'd you
No,
say?
I don't-
47?
Nah. Let me just think about it. What's the rush? We got plenty of time.
As if we can't rewind the tape in the production room and see what you said. Like it didn't just disappear into the oblivion. CBSSports.com has Jordan Love and Matthew Golden listed as the 8th best. This is a projection. New quarterback wide receiver duo. Do you think they could be top 10 in the league? Of all the quarterback wide receiver duos, 800-990-3776. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Roll on right after this.
Let me tell you what I did a couple of years ago. I joined out at the Wisconsin Country Club. I love it. I love playing the golf course. I love the practice area, getting out there, working on my game. And now they've launched the WCC Performance Academy, which is powered by Catalyst Golf Performance and Aretas Physical Therapy. It's the real deal. TrackMan, 3D Motion, Miha EMS, everything you need to move better, feel stronger, shoot lower scores. So once you join, then you can join the Performance Academy and really start working on your game. No assessments at the Wisconsin Country Club either. No food and beverage minimums. Just an incredible, challenging golf course and great amenities as well. Tennis, pickleball, and a pool that has Sundays fun days for the kiddos. Get started today. TheWisconsinCountryClub.com. It's just a fairway away.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are slowing down out there for sure, and we got a bunch of different accidents. First of all, on 94 eastbound at Highway F in Waukesha, we've got the 2 right lanes, actually just the right lane blocked now, as most of the emergency crews have left. But we've got a bunch of squads out there, so try and be careful heading through there. That Highway F off-ramp is also not really, it's kind of closed off with the squads there. We've also got the crash on northbound 94 just past the Mitchell interchange, the right lane blocked there. We've also got one on 175 southbound at the ramp from Wisconsin Avenue, left lane blocked there. And on the ramp from 794 westbound to 4394 southbound, right lane blocked in the Marquette interchange as well. So please take it easy. Things are still kind of slick out there. Traffic is brought to you by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series, Wednesday Night Live. The Cheap Shots take the stage tonight. Gates open at 6. Live music starts at 7. Wednesday Night Live from the Bud Pavilion at State Fair Park. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, morning rain, then afternoon clearing and haze, a high of 64 at the Lake 70.
The fusion of artistry and flavor with sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care recently switched to James Imaging Systems for their document imaging technology. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
Well, I think that boils back down to the service. We have a good partnership with James Imaging.
With James, you get more than a vendor relationship. You get a local business technology partner.
Oh, absolutely. I can pick up the phone at any time, contact our representative, and he's right on it.
James Imaging Systems, business technology and local support for more productivity, more value.
Definitely. We're a nonprofit here. We have to watch every penny, so we really feel very comfortable in that area with James Imaging.
Comfortable enough to recommend James Imaging Systems to others?
Well, without hesitation, I would recommend James Imaging. They won't be disappointed.
James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, Milwaukee's medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Weekend appointments available. Call now. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How are you feeling, big guy, about the MRI?
It's starting to hurt now. I think I have mental issues. I really do.
Well,
gonna have to clip that
yeah,
for me?
that's I mean,
just hold on to it? No.
I know. I don't think there's anything wrong. It's just I think it's something in my brain's telling me
Something is wrong, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Brewers' win streak comes to an end yesterday against the Reds, although they almost, very close, tied it up at the end of the game. Just got robbed of a home run at the wall to lose 4-2 to the Reds. But that was not the only tough break in the evening, as Brandon Woodruff was making another rehab start, what they expected to be his final rehab start, actually. And, man, it's just... He took a liner off the elbow. They're calling it a right elbow contusion. I guess they were saying it was like 108.2 mile per hour comebacker. Ouch. And so that delays Brandon Woodruff's return again. Chewy, of course, like he hasn't pitched for the Brewers since the fall of 2003. Took all of 2024 off to recover and rehab. And now they've been slowly working him back. What was the issue earlier this year? Was it an ankle injury, Gabe, that kept, right? He was coming back, making his
then
final.
He had an ankle injury, yep. And then that set him back because then he had to rehab that and then get the arm strength back up. And, yeah, it seems like he's a little snake bitten at this point. Anytime he gets close, something weird just happens. And he's pitched well. 8 total rehab starts before Tuesday, 3-1, 1.96 ERA, 33 strikeouts, and 36 2/3 innings.
Should they view Woodruff? I think that's the general sentiment, Chew, is that he will be fine. Should they view him, though, as sort of a bonus pitcher at this point? Like, until he gets on the diamond for the Brewers, Gabe, I'm a little like, well, they've been doing well, especially over this last stretch when they've been hitting and Christian Yelich has been on a tear and whatnot. Without Woodruff, I know that they want to improve the starting rotation, and they feel that Woodruff would do that. But there's also a part of me that's like, I don't know, and this is not a knock on him, how much they should rely on him for quality starts, for quality innings down the stretch.
I mean, I think you have to. I mean, this is one of your guys. This is why you signed him to the contract you signed him to, is for the second half of the season to be him, to have him be a productive pitcher. We're only going to run him out there for 4 innings a time. Like, those are things that tax your bullpen. At that point, why are you having him on the roster? Because now you're putting other people's roster spots in jeopardy because you got to cycle through the bullpen so fast. I'm not saying when he comes back and whenever that first start ends up being that he's going to go out there and throw 103 pitches. I don't think that's the case. You're going to have to continue to work that arm strength back up to 100 pitches. But you need him to be somebody that can go out there and get 5-6 innings every 5 days. That's what you need.
He's fine. Even if it's right after the All-Star break, I really don't care. It's going to take him a little time to come up to speed, but what you want is him peaking towards the end of the season and into the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not saying expect Brandon Woodruff to be the stud that he was prior to, but he still can be. But he can be.
But what do you expect them to be? Like they're second best behind Peralta, or
no?
Probably like 3-4.
Really?
Yeah. Coming off a major injury like that. I mean, Jose Quintana's really good. He started opening day last year for the Mets. Like, Quintana's pretty good, and the rest of the staff has come together and been able to put together really good outings. So
that'll still be a pretty good lineup, though.
Oh yeah, exactly. And if he's able to pitch better than that, that just again makes that starting rotation one that you don't want to mess with when you get to a 3-game series.
Gabe, if the trade deadline is at the end of the week, what are you looking at to upgrade the team?
You need
bullpen?
No, bullpen's actually fine. Bullpen's good, and they've got arms that they can continue to cycle through at the minor league level. You need more offense, particularly out of the left side of the infield. You just need you need to have somebody who can be a steady bat at third base,
which is doable.
Yeah,
right?
we'll wait. We'll have to wait and see. Again, the introduction of the wild card round and more wild card teams have made more teams think that they're alive and can stay alive. So we'll have to wait and see when that comes. But offense is what the Brewers are going to be in the market for if they try to make a move at the deadline.
What's the number one thing that you think the Brewers have to do in order to be considered buyers at the deadline, Gabe?
Oh, they just have to stay within striking distance of the wild card race, which is what they are right now. So as long as they continue their steady play, again, you're not going to run into 8-game winning streaks all that often. It's their longest winning streak since they won 9 in a row a couple of years ago. So as long as you stay alive in the division race, in the wild card race, right now they're game back. St. Louis has that third and final wild card spot. As long as you're there, you don't even have to be in one of those wild card spots. Just a game, 2, even 3 back, because you still have 2 months after the trade deadline. If you're there, then I think the Brewers can consider themselves buyers.
And before we stop this conversation, I do want to note that we have had several people weigh in on the Carbless Talk and Text line 800-990-3776 that Chewy is most certainly to blame for the Brewers losing last night after asking Jeff Levering about Moneyball streaks, which brought up the George Webb streak, and now we have to start over.
I'll own it. Yes, I'll own it.
Oh, how big of you? How big of you to admit that you said something on the radio that's available in podcast form on the ESPN Wisconsin app
and on social media? The real question,
it's everywhere.
Was it an intentional whammy?
Oh,
can't imagine.
I don't know. Sometimes he's spiteful for fun.
That's true.
No, the Brewers are my second favorite team.
Yeah, but you like to have
MLB.
spite from time to time.
No,
he's not going to take it out on the Brewers, though.
No.
There's plenty of other targets.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first time I've ever done that.
That's why I found it interesting.
Hold on.
I found it quite peculiar.
Hold on.
You thought that there was some intent behind the statement.
You're talking about a guy that has zero control of this show, and you're blaming me for social media, and I'm not on any social media? How does that work?
I'm not blaming you for social media. I'm blaming you for putting it out there.
I didn't put anything out there.
No one was talking Moneyball or G-Webs until you brought it to the forefront.
I feel like G-Webs comes up once you hit 10.
Yeah.
Once you hit double digits and you're 2 games away, that's when G-Webs comes up.
Premature G-Webs.
Well, I'm the only one that owns anything on this damn show.
No.
I know that.
The great owner.
You own properties, and that's about it. All right?
And even those.
I think people wanted me to sing again. I believe we're not reading those texts and tweets.
As the guy who claimed he ate the Works pizza that gave him a tummy ache after he had a bad Packers take, are you the owner?
I was on the injury report.
Adjacent.
That's fair.
You were, I guess
you were on the injury report the same way Jair was.
Yeah, Kenny Clark, right?
Hey, Joshy.
Yeah.
I'm back on Monday. Don't make me Schefter you with a dog, okay?
What does that mean?
You know what it means.
I think that was an interesting threat.
Did he just threaten to poop on
Yeah,
you?
he did. That's what he did.
He's going to doo-doo on you.
That's what he did.
All right, let's shut off his mic. Let's go to break, wrap up the show, try to maintain a little bit of our dignity before we end at 9 o'clock.
Deuces.
That was the most unique threat I've ever received in my life.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN. Immediate live show streaming. A homepage customized just for you. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
It isn't fair to just say they need to put pieces around Jordan Love in order to get to the Super Bowl, but it will also help if Jordan Love plays up to his potential.
The ESPN Wisconsin app. Everything in the palm of your hand.
Just going back to it's fine just doing it the Goody way and growing young and growing together.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Small's here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Home Depot has fast, free delivery on the perfect gift to help Dad do more this Father's Day. Because Dad is more than just a dad. He's groundskeeper of the yard, the perfecter of the patio, and the cleaner of the clippings. Power Dad's doing with Ryobi cordless outdoor power tools from the Home Depot. Like the Ryobi 40-volt string trimmer kit for $159. For everything Dad is, find the perfect gift at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Summerfest is almost here, and we're going to send you to all 9 days. It's Summerfest on us. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app and register for your chance to bring a friend and have the best summer ever at the big gig. Summerfest on us. Register today in the ESPN Wisconsin app under the contest tab. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, has college football gotten a little sleazy? Where you can recruit a little?
No, I'm saying from the standpoint, it used to be.
That was good.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. For Mental Health Awareness Month, BetterHelp surveyed 16,000 people across 23 countries for its first ever State of Stigma report and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support when they are struggling, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It affects families, workplaces, entire communities. I'm sure you heard the news this past week of one of my ESPN colleagues who passed away, died by suicide. Help is available. If you find yourself in a situation where you are feeling helpless, you feel like you don't have support, no one understands, and you are alone, just know that that is not the case. BetterHelp is trying to end the stigma. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout. You'll get 10% off your first month. It's convenient. You can join a session with the click of a button. You can fit therapy into your busy life. You can switch therapists at any time. They've helped 5 million people globally, and they have 35,000 therapists on call. We are all better with help. It's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout. And here I thought Chewy talking about the feud or the conflict he was having with his wife about the hurricane prep was going to be the highlight of the show. No, in fact, it was in the last few minutes of the show when you threatened to doo-doo on Joshy.
He's running his mouth a little too much.
Didn't we talk about that lady who doo-dooed on a car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it right?
Silly pooper.
Yeah.
I forgot she had that great nickname. Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great one, everybody.
Accident on northbound 94 heading through the Mitchell interchange. The right lane is blocked right now, so watch out for that. We've also got a crash on